How's it going, YouTube? This is Badass Review here, back with another review, this time of the Marvel Legends 2-pack The Thing. This is from Hasbro back in 2008, I believe. Came with the Mr. Fantastic in the 2-pack, which I have already done a review at, and you can view that in the link below and all that good stuff. But I think this is probably the best Thing action figure that we've ever gotten in Marvel Legends, because I think it just looks probably the best out of all of them. And I mean, the detail on him is pretty nice for being one of Hasbro's earlier figures. The coloring and stuff, there's pretty good shading and stuff going on throughout him. But I mean, just the way he's sculpted and all that, there's like, it's just like he is actually made out of rocks. Whereas older ones were just kind of like lines going throughout his body, giving him like separate things on his body. But this is like really nicely sculpted. I think this is probably one of the best things, in my opinion, that I've seen. And this is the only thing I have. I used to have a old Toy Biz one from the Fantastic Four movie, but it had a gimmick and it wasn't really the best. But this one's pretty cool. I do have some complaints though. I think the biggest problem with him is that he's a little short. If you put him up next to Mr. Fantastic, he's a normal sized figure, and he's a little bit shorter than him. And I know I'm not getting a good angle right here. He's a little bit shorter than him, but I think Thing should be a little bit bigger, just because, you know, if you were gonna square him off against like the Hulk or something, he's a little bit too short. And I think that's kind of a problem. I kind of wish him to be maybe a little bit taller, but yeah, that's kind of my biggest complaint. Another complaint I have is that he doesn't have wrist swivel. He doesn't have a wrist swivel, so I mean, the way his hands are positioned most of the time are kind of bad. And the only real way you can like move his wrist, is if you move the upper arm here. So it kind of lacks some articulation in places, but that's kind of a minor detail. And I think his face sculpt's pretty good, but he has like this crazy underbite. It's pretty insane how bad that is. He needs to get some dental work done. And the way his eyebrows are too, it's like his eyebrow is like sticking out as far as his bottom lip. So he kind of needs some facial reconstruction done. But you know, it's a really kind of angry looking Thing. It's kind of hard to see his face, but you can see that he's kind of angry. And he's got some pretty cool detail on the eye. I'm dropping stuff in the background. But yeah, and he's also in his classic colors. So to match all the other Fantastic Four members, he's got like the black waistband with the blue shorts on, which is pretty nice. I prefer this, the black and blue outfit, better than the white and blue, but that's just my personal opinion. But other than that, he's got some pretty cool shading in some spots in between the individual rocks, so it really makes it stand out quite a bit. The back's not really done well at all. Like, it's done well, but it's not really painted. Like, the whole front side's kind of darker, and this is more like a orangey color to it, where the rest of his body's got like paint detailing. So that's kind of lame that they would just kind of skip out on his back side, but not a big deal. And then he's got even more detailing on his feet, and he's got little peg holes, and that's really nice. But let's go over articulation, because there's not much else to say about this guy. His head is on it's kind of a strange ball joint. Like, his neck sticks out of like this huge hole, and it's kind of weird, but his head can move up and down. If I can, it's like a strange ratchet joint. It can look down pretty good, it can look up pretty good. It rotates left and right. You really can't get a full 360 degrees just because of how the swivel is on his neck. His arms can go out and in. He's got like ratchet joints in his arms there. He can rotate at the bicep, single joint at the elbow, a wrist hinge, so it can kind of go in and out, which is strange why they would give him that, but they wouldn't give him a wrist swivel. So he can get a good little, you know, if you had like a giant cup for him to hold, he can hold that pretty good. And what else is really nice is the fact that he has individual finger articulation. So, you know, he gets mad at Dr. Doom or something and be like, yo, F you, buddy. I don't like you very much. But that's still pretty cool. I mean, you don't see that in a lot of Toy Biz, or Hasbro action figures with individual finger articulation. So that's really cool. He swivels at the waist, no ab articulation, unfortunately. His legs, you have to twist them to go forward and back, and twist them again, go in and out. He rotates at the upper part of the thigh here. He bends one point at the the knee. He bends at the foot, but it's kind of hard on mine, and I think it's got a ratchet in there, which I don't personally like, but I guess it kind of helps his joints not get super loose. And then another really cool piece of articulation is individual toe articulation. Well, it's all one toe pretty much, but it does articulate. So quite a bit of good detail and articulation on this. I think this has probably a little bit more than some of the old Toy Biz action figures, but personally I'm not really for sure, since this is like really the only, well, this is the second thing I've ever owned in my life, but really cool. I think this one is probably the one you want to get. Hopefully, maybe Hasbro will release another thing where he has better articulation, but I would speculate the next time we get a Thing action figure, it's going to be in his Future Foundation colors. Along with this Mr. Fantastic, we'll probably get a Future Foundation Mr. Fantastic 2, and maybe a variant would be him in another costume, but we'll have to see. Right now, Hasbro's kind of dealing with other figures and stuff, but I'm sure sometime soon we'll get this. But anyways, so that's my review. Check out my Mr. Fantastic review. Check out my other reviews and upcoming reviews and all that stuff. So if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.